My name is Yishai Fleisher. I am the international spokesman for the Jewish Community of Hebron.
Okay, and how many people are we talking about?
Well, we have about 1,000 Jews that live in Hebron, which is a big Arab city. And we have our sister community, Kiryat Arba, which is about 9,000 people. So we're a block of about 10,000 Jews living amongst about 200,000 Arabs. So we're dealing here with Arabs, so-called Palestinians, that have had enough of the PA. Okay? They're tired of the PA because the PA is, first and foremost, it's corrupt. Okay? It steals all their money. And it also sends their kids towards jihadism, which not everybody wants. Okay? Not every Arab wants their kid to be a suicide bomber.
No.
Okay? Moreover, there's another reason why these Arabs are pulling away from the PA. It's because they see it doesn't work. The promises of the PA have not come to fruition. They don't have a good life. It's not a decent life. The war with Israel is a failure. And lastly, they're looking at Gaza. They're like, okay, our city, Hebron we say, which is a very ancient and beautiful city, is being pulled into Hamas thinking. And what's the end of Hamas? Well, you could see in Gaza. It's a totally destroyed Gaza. And they're like, this Israel isn't going anywhere. It's not working. You guys are corrupt. Anytime we say anything against the PA, we're being dragged into dungeons and beaten and killed. And you're stealing our money. And you're brainwashing our kids for nothing, just so that you and your friends could have power, so the leaders of Hamas could sit in a hotel in Doha, Qatar. And so the bottom line is, it's not working. We want something else. And the big change here, the big revolution here, and it's a revolution both on the ground and in narrative, is that they're pointing at the PA and saying, you're the enemy of the so-called Palestinian people. You're the enemy of the Arabs. Israel is our potential partner. Israel is going to be here. Israel has a right to be here. It's biblical, it's Quranic. It's got right to be here. It's going to be here. We see by the strength of Israel. In the Middle East, things are also measured through strength. You're strong, you're real, you're on the ground, you're not going anywhere. Well, we might as well make a deal with you.
Go with the strong horse.
Right. Now, at the same time, it's not like the PA is totally weak. These are, with no scruples, willing to be murderously violent and do everything to stay in power, because it's all about power and money. And so these men, these mukhtars, which means clan heads, regional clan heads, are publicly going to the Wall Street Journal and breaking this news. We're pulling out of the PA. They are putting their life on the line. They're putting their life in their hands. And now it's about Israel. Will Israel embrace them? We heard Witkoff mention that there are other players that may want to join the Abraham Accords. So these folks, these sheikhs and mukhtars, are taking a brave step and saying to the world, we want out of the PA, into an embrace with Israel, into the Abraham Accords. We're willing to risk our life. This is the moment. Netanyahu's in Washington. Trump knows about this. Witkoff knows about this. We've had already connections through Kushner in the past. Now is the time to formalize this.
Okay, just a second. I just want to check. What is it Americans should think about this? How does this fit into the grander scheme of President Trump looking for peace in the region?
It's an incredibly important moment because we've been fed a narrative that it's Israel versus the Palestinians. That Israel is occupying somebody else's land, that Israel is doing a so-called genocide against the Arabs of Gaza. And here comes a group of important, wealthy, powerful Arabs in Israel, in the land of Israel, saying, no. Our problem is with the Oslo Accords, with the two-state solution, with a Palestine, and with the PA, the Palestinian Authority. That's our problem. We know that Israel's here to stay. We want to be part of Israel, and we want to be part of Israel in a certain way. Imagine like a Chinatown, where you have culturally Chinese world within the United States or within Canada or whatever. So too, they're like, we want to stay culturally Arab, have our own ways of dealing with things, but be part of Israel. And they're pointing to the PA. They're saying, this thing is bad. It's corrupt. It tortures us. It steals our money. It sends our kids into jihadism. We don't want that. And so they're saying the stuff that you're hearing out there, all the progressives that are, yelling at Colombia, together with the jihadists, they're like, that's not going to bring a future to us. Those people are liars. They're anti-Semites, but they're not pro-Arab either. They're not really doing us any favors. In fact, all those people that you're going to hear about in all the talk shows, like Mahdi Assad and stuff, they're actually working with our enemies. Our enemies are the repressive Arab regimes of yesteryear. The Assad regime, the Hamas regime in Gaza, the PA regime in Judea and Samaria and the so-called West Bank. They're the ones that want to subjugate us, steal our money, brainwash our kids. We want out of that. And so the reason this is such a big deal is for everybody to have an aha moment. We've been told a lie, that it's Israel versus the Palestinians. No, many Palestinians want Israel to exist and want to be protected by Israel. And the future of the PA, the Palestinian Authority, is to be dismantled and to be taken off the board, off the chessboard.
So it seems real similar to what the Druze are doing up in Syria, where they're saying, like, we want to be under Israel's umbrella.
That's right.
Yeah. So how do the Jews in Hebron, how do they feel about this?
You know, the Jews in Hebron are concerned with survival and have been for a long time. We're the oldest Jewish community in the world. And it's important to say that Hebron is home to the tomb of the patriarchs and matriarchs, the forefathers of the Jewish people, the stars of the book of Genesis. We're talking about Abraham and Sarah, Isaac, Rebekah, Jacob, and Leah. Those are tombs that are 3,500 years old. And Jewish people have been living in that town and protecting that tomb for the last 3,500 years. We were evicted by jihadism in 1929, and we have returned after the Six-Day War. So the Jews that live there are a minority. They're trying to survive. They're not thinking always about the regional big picture. They're not always talking about, the Abraham Accords. They're trying to survive. But of course, to have neighbors that are no longer the Palestinian Authority, to have neighbors of Arabs who want to live in peace, work with dignity, and start to be part of the broader Israeli system, and I dare say the Israeli nation. We need to say they're Arabs, non-Jews, but at the same time, they're part of the story of Israel. They're allies of Israel. It's an exciting prospect. And we have amongst us some people who don't want to hear it, They don't want to hear it. They don't trust the Arabs. But then we have people amongst us who say, no. Here's a real opportunity. We also see the self-sacrifice that these men, these leaders, are putting out there in order to lay out a different plan.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. That's